This is Slay the Spire 2 beta version 106. This patch includes multiple massive enemy reworks. Let's get right into it. First up, the relic changes. Silken Trust and scroll boxes. Neon bonus downside has been swapped. So Silken Trust used to have no downside and scroll boxes would lose all gold. Now Silken Trust would lose all gold and scroll boxes has no downside. They also swapped the number of slots they can appear in. So Silken Trust now only appear in slot 3 and scroll boxes will be a slot 1-2 neon bonus. Scroll boxes was pretty bad because it lost all your gold and now it should be pretty good. Silken Trust was extremely strong. Getting a glam on your first card reward usually soft Act 1 and even more. Now it has a downside but should still be pretty decent. Hillside, the ancient relic that allows you to skip a turn every combat now no longer decreases the duration on statuses like vulnerable. I don't personally notice this happening very much during my games, but now you have one more turn of vulnerables on the enemies. Mummified hand targeting rules has been changed. 99% of the time this has no effect on gameplay, but if you want to read the entire change list, you can pause the video and see. The major impact will probably be on stuff like Snake Eye that changes the cost of your cards. Stronghold Battle now respects replays with the energy gain, so most relevant if you have corruption, you duplicate Stronghold Battle, now it will gain 4 energy. Entrench now gains extra block from enchantments. This is a event card from the Trash Heap event. I don't know how you are getting enchantments on that. It's very unlikely to happen, but I guess if you somehow have it, the enchantment will make more block. Hell from Beyond has been buffed. It used to trigger at the start of your turn, so if you exhaust Hell from Beyond, it actually doesn't work until the next turn. Now it will work immediately at the end of your turn. That's a very big buff to Hell from Beyond. Unrelenting has been buffed. Damage has increased by 2, so this attack was just a mediocre early game card. Now it's still just an okay early game card. Follow through on Silent has been reworked. The common attack version was really bad and pretty much was never picked. Now it's a skill on common, 0 cost, apply a weak to all enemies, upgrading to not exhaust. 0 cost weakness is very good, and now Silent has even more access to weakness. Predator has been buffed. It has been moved from uncommon to common. Usually Predator is not a card they are super happy to pick, but since it's now common, you will see it earlier as a very early game damage card. This does the job. Pounce has been buffed, so similar to Unrelenting, damage has increased by 2. This is kind of exclusive for Snakebite because you can actually consistently line up Pounce Snakebite since Snakebite retains. Now it's slightly better. Furnace on Regen has been buffed. It now has 1 more Forge every turn. Forge 4 was just way too slow, and this buff should make Furnace a little bit more pickable. Guards has been nerfed, so the minion sacrifice generated by guards used to block 9, now it blocks 8. Not a very impactful change. Usually when you play the guards on any given turn, you will overblock. Now this is still a very powerful card. Sealed Throne has been massively nerfed, so every ancient card comes upgraded. It used to be innate, now it just costs 0 energy. The fact that the Sealed Throne was innate allowed you to build the entire deck around it because you're guaranteed to have it on turn. You can pick every star payoff card without worrying too much. Now you actually need to draw Sealed Throne, so if you bottom deck it, that's a big problem. Astropulse has been nerfed from 14 damage to 12 damage. The fact that it's split between 2 hits, 6 damage twice, has some positive interactions with strength, with Monarch's Gaze, and it's a little better against the exoskeletons in Act 2. They have a damage cap of 9, so playing Astropulse now actually do more damage than the 14 damage version. But overall, just a bit less damage. Still should be pretty good. Fusion has been massively buffed from 2 energy to 1 energy. So Fusion at 2 energy was really unplayable. If you wanted to pick Fusion, you really wanted to upgrade it. Now it kind of just comes upgraded. The fact that it exhausts does not matter too much, and the upgrade will make it not exhaust. Synthesis has been buffed, so from 12 to 14, similar to Unrelenting and Pounce. Usually this doesn't actually do that much on the defect unless you can hit Echo Form with it. A pretty mediocre attack. It got slightly better. Shatter has been nerfed from 11 AoE to 7 AoE. So now instead of doing 300 damage, this will do 296 damage from 1 energy. Still a ridiculously powerful card. Fasten has been nerfed deservedly. Gaining 5 block for defend was just way too powerful, and getting additional 4 block from defend is still very good. Now let's move on to the enemy reworks. The Infected Prism, so the triangle guy in Act 2, has been completely reworked. Now you no longer refund energy while hitting it, and it now has this new Vital Spark status. So every time you play a skill, you will take 3 more damage for the turn. So if you play 2 skills, you will take 6 more. You can essentially think of this as temporary strength for the enemy, so every skill give the the enemy 3 temporary strength. On turn 2, it will do 13 damage and block 13. On turn 3, it will do a multi-attack. On the multi-attack turn, if you're giving this enemy temporary strength, the effect is 3 times as bad. And finally, it has this move which will gain 3 vital sparks. So now you're giving it 6 temporary strength per skill. That's gonna ramp up to 9 and so on. So the longer you stay here, the ability for you to block gets weaker and weaker, so you do need to finish this fight pretty quickly. The Eon Glass boss has been completely reworked. Now, every 6 cards, so on the previous patch, it was 4 cards. Now, every 6 cards you play, you add a Wither to your hand. And Wither no longer is playable. It's basically a burn that deals 3 damage to you instead of 2. Also, if you have Runic Pyramid, this doesn't actually discard. It will stay in your hand. On turn 2, it's still exactly the same pattern, the multi-hit attack. And on this turn, you still have the Ebb debuff, -3 strength and dexterity. And on the buff turn, it now shuffles in 2 more Withers into your discard pile, on top of gaining strength and block, like what it did previously. And it also upgrades all the Withers in your deck and for any future Withers. So it will upgrade to 6 damage, then 9 damage, then 12 damage. Essentially, if you stay in this fight for way too long, you will get overwhelmed by the amount of Withers this guy plays into your deck, and they're gonna hit for very hard. So Eon Glass, a lot more difficult now compared to the previous patch. The Skulking Colony has been reworked. HP has been increased from 75 to 80, but the damage cap has been increased from 15 to 20. So if you're able to do 20 damage every turn, you can kill it in 4. And that's its a new pattern. It no longer gains block. It just does 16, 16, 11, then 11 times 2. On the 11th turn, it will gain 3 strength. Finally, the Haunted Ship has been reworked. On turn 1, this is still exactly the same. Weakens you and put 5 statuses into your discard pile. But now it only has 2 moves. It just cycles between 14 damage and 15 damage. And that is all for the patch review. Let me know in the comments on what are your thoughts on the new enemy reworks, especially the new Eon Glass boss. If you found this video useful, please subscribe for more Slay the Spire patch reviews and strategy content. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.